It's another gorgeous evening in Newport Harbor. Step through the gates and you'll gaze upon Davidson Field. Once you take a step onto the rustic grounds of this stadium, you can feel the energy whisking through the stands, the cheers of the tar pit, and witness the tradition being written firsthand. The Cajon Cowboys have come to town to try and repeat what they did to the Sailors last season as the Tars look to bounce back here at home. Welcome and a pleasure to have you all here on this Thursday evening on Tar TV Sports. Justin Lee alongside my partner Taryn Rodriguez and Mickey De Silva and Zoe DeMichaels on the sidelines will join us later on. Tonight we gaze upon tradition once more, Senior Night, a yearly ceremony to commemorate the Sailors who put out their best for all 4 years while attending Newport Harbor High School in the classroom and on the field. A night where they get to give back to their families who offered unrelenting support through all their years here, and a time to connect with their fellow teammates and share their grace and best wishes to those who will depart Newport High this coming fall. 19 seniors in total whose names will be etched into the long gray line of Sailors who have come before them. Also tonight, we remember the lives lost 24 years ago on this date and the shock of a nation devastated on that day. Nearly 3,000 lives were lost. Many heroes who ran into the fire to save many in the wake of an unprecedented act of terrorism. We commemorate the many first responders who responded to the scene at Ground Zero in New York City and elsewhere. On a day which a nation that would forever remember, we remind ourselves once again to never forget those who lost their lives on 9/11. On a night of reflection, gratitude, and remembrance, we also turn to the game that brings this community together, Newport Harbor and Cajon, to take the field with history behind them and another chapter waiting to be written tonight. The pageantry is complete, the ceremonies are behind us, and now it's time for football. Taryn, how are we feeling about this Thursday night matchup?
I'm feeling that this is somewhat of a must-win game for the Sailors as Bravo League play is right around the corner and wins are going to start to come tough to come by. It feels like Newport Harbor is right there when it comes to winning these games and being the team that everyone expects them to be. Last week, they took a 17-6 lead into the fourth quarter, but fell to El Medina 21-17 on what could have been a game-winning touchdown throw with no time left, only to be wiped away by a penalty as the ball was thrown at the line beyond the line of scrimmage. Tonight is huge because it's also Newport Harbor Senior Night, and they at least want to win this game for their seniors. What bodes well for the Sailors is that they've won 4 straight home games dating back to last year, and the quarterback who has started in all 4 of those home wins, Jake Meir, who is a senior.
Certainly, and Jake Meir is who we'll be looking at tonight. But last year, Newport Harbor took a trip to San Bernardino on a Friday evening and had a rough time stopping a stout Cowboy offense. This year, Cajon comes to town to take on a different look Sailors team as what we've seen thus far this season. And on the flip side, Cajon is a new look offense as well, Taryn, all headed by a mobile freshman quarterback in Marcus Washington Jr.
Absolutely. And Cajon is well known for producing amazing quarterbacks. One is actually playing in the NFL as we do this broadcast by the name of someone of, Jaden Daniels. Now they have another quarterback on the rise and is ready to do it big for them. And for Cajon, they've surpassed 20-plus points in all of their contests this year. Another key for the Sailors is can they slow down Washington and junior running back Malik Nolly on the ground. The Sailors have struggled against mobile quarterbacks and have struggled against the run for the most part in games past. They did better last week, only giving up 111 yards on the ground, but they need to keep their opponent's run game in check all game if they want to get back to 500.
Last week, the Sailors went on the road for a revenge tour against the El Medina Vanguards, but came up short like Taryn talked about, with the Vanguards making that comeback late in that fourth quarter to win 21-17 over the Tars. The loss last week highlighted a theme that has been glaring from the 2 losses for the Sailors so far this season. And just like you mentioned, Taryn, it's about stopping the run game.
Without a doubt. Stopping the run is going to be huge, but they also have to run the ball effectively as well. Can they do that? In 2 of the Sailors' 3 games, their leading rusher was Jake Meir, which is not a recipe for success if they want to be successful offensively. They need to get the likes of Jonah Takamori and Matthew Yamakama going early and often on the ground.
That will certainly be a storyline we'll have to track as the game goes on throughout the evening. Earlier this week, our crew for Tar TV Sports caught up with 2 prominent Sailors who have been a bright spot on the roster through this young season. One of them being honored tonight for Senior Night, Cruz Marcelo.
tonight's game senior night, and I think it's going to be really big for me to have my parents walking down with me and being on the field and up close to my coaches, and just the atmosphere, and then I have to be able to switch my mentality and turn my mind towards the game and then just get focused. I think this year our team chemistry is the best it has been since I've come to Harper my 4 years ago. We're all really close right now, and we're really bonded as a team. We go on a bunch of trips together and hang out outside of school and outside of football, and I think it's brought us a lot closer together. We're trying to get 11 guys to the ball on every play. Last year we'd have 1 or 2 guys trying to tackle the ball carrier, and this year we want to start gang tackling them and bring in as many people as we can over there to take them to the ground. Personally, I want to have a 10-sack season, double-digit sack season. That would be my goal. But I want to lead my defensive line and just hope we can bring pressure to the quarterback every play that we can. Help our DBs out a little bit.
Cruz is definitely going to have to lead this Newport Harbor defense, especially since every opponent that Newport Harbor has faced this year has scored 20 or more points. The good news is for the Newport Harbor defense is that they're allowing less points by the week. And now it's just a matter of the defense making the big plays and coming up big down the stretch and leading to the offense to do their thing and put points on the scoreboard.
Another bright spot on the season for the Sailors. Roster has been having a breakout season thus far. Tar TV Sports also caught up with junior Shane McKibben.
It's a big game, so we've prepared a lot. We've put in some new plays, some new defensive coverages, and we just got to hydrate and keep our bodies good. The theme of the group is definitely hardworking and dedicated. At practice, we're always trying to get better each day and just reach to our goal of winning a CIF championship. Yeah, me and Jake are real tight. We hang out a lot. We're pretty good friends, so that definitely helps a lot on the field, just the connection. I'm going to continue that by just working hard each game, and it's a big team sport, so we all got to play good for me to play good. So yeah, Jake, the O-line, the other receivers, so yeah, it's a team game.
If there's one player that needs to have a big breakout game tonight, it's Shane McKibben. He's been relatively quiet the past 2 games, which isn't all bad. Since that game against Marietta Mesa, he just hasn't been that big-time player that most of us saw like we did in 7-on-7 this past summer.
Well, down on the sidelines, we have our silent reporter for Tar TV Sports. We'll check in on her right now.
Thank you, Justin and Taryn. Tonight is an amazing night. It's super special for the seniors. It's senior night, and there are tons of players on this team who really make the team, and they are ready to show us that this is their last season, and they're going to make it a record-breaking and winning season. Thank you. Back to you guys, Justin and Taryn.
Thank you, Zoe, for the insight. We'll take a break here on Tar TV Sports, and as we stand by for the national anthem, we'll be back here. Stick around. Welcome back here on this Thursday night at Newport Harbor Davidson Field. Justin Lee and Taryn Rodriguez. Before we get into the action, let's talk about what the Sailors need to do tonight to get a win again here at home. Taryn, we'll start with you. What do you think needs to be done here tonight for the Newport Harbor Sailors to get a win against the Cajon Cowboys?
Well, the biggest thing for Newport Harbor is that they have to play smart offensively and defensively for all four cores, and they have to limit their penalties as well. The talent is clearly there with this Newport Harbor team, but they always seem to catch a bad break or two in certain games, and they always kind of somewhat get in their own way. They could easily be 3-0 going into this game. Justin, what are your keys to this game?
Yeah, we talked about it, Taryn, and we know about the run game. Sailors indeed need to be careful tonight against the Cajon Cowboys team. The biggest factor that will likely determine the outcome tonight is about the Newport defense and seeing if they can limit the run yardage from the Cowboy offense. And we'll see if that plays out here tonight as kickoff is about to get underway. But we'll take a little break here again for the national anthem. We'll be back. Welcome back, folks, here on TAR TV Sports. Justin Lee alongside Taryn Rodriguez. Coin toss has already occurred. The game will get underway very much soon. I'm talking about all the lines that were lost on 9/11 on this momentous day. 8:46 a.m. when the first plane hit the Twin Towers. 2,996 deaths, including injuries at the World Trade Center, U.S. Pentagon, and near U.S. Capitol. But that flight, United Airlines 93, going down in Pennsylvania. 25,000 injured in the mix. It was a day that shook up America, but brought many together in the wake of terrorism. President George W. Bush said, terrorist attacks can shake the foundations of our biggest building, but they cannot touch the foundation of America. On this day, and during that week, all activities across the country were eliminated for the time being to let the country mourn. But once they came back, the Battle of the Bay was the first game after the events of 9/11. The marching band played Anchors Away before and during the game. 7,000 fans showed up to OCC, and the Newport Harbor Sailors beat CDM 47-7. But here tonight, the Sailors looking to bounce back on that win column, and the big theme as well that we have to mention is Jake Mears' record and the Sailors here at home. They're undefeated, Taryn.
Absolutely. Jake Mears here at Davidson Field, when he starts and finishes a game, he is 4-0. And honestly, he's going to need to really step up, as well as everyone on that offense. This Cajon team is really good. They're 1-1, but one of their losses was to Norco. There is no shame in losing to them. Newport Harbor is really going to need to be dialed in, just because, again, they're 1-2. They can't afford any more losses along the way, because soon Bravo League play is going to be happening, and they're going to need it. Wins are going to be tough to come by against teams like Yorba Linda, San Juan Hills, and Villa Park. Heck, CDM and Tesoro might be up on everyone's radar as well. I mean, Tesoro's vastly improved. CDM is undefeated going into Friday, so Newport Harbor really needs to bring its A game when it comes to tonight and next week and going into Bravo League play.
And if anything, that kind of just tells you about the way that this has gone for Newport. We can argue all day that they could be 3-0 at this point, but alas, they're 1-2 right now. They could be better right now, but you know, you go through the troubles and you have to continue on a season, next man up mentality. And that is what we'll see tonight. Newport Harbor will kick away to the Cajon Cowboys to start off here on this Thursday evening. And it's underway. A sails up for the Tars. Touchback in the end zone away from any of the intended receivers. Daniel Rico kicked it out of play. EJ Karstaffner and Malik Newley back there to receive the kick, but we'll start at the 20-yard line for the Cowboys.
Yeah, we're about to see what Cajon can really do. Marcus Washington, 1-1 for this Cajon team. They're gonna let's see what Newport Harbor's defense can dial up here.
Marcus Washington, a freshman quarterback like we talked about, and very much the shades of the most famous alumni from Cajon. Here's the first handoff on first down, up the gut, and tackled by the Sailors. Cruz Marcella on the tackle. That brings down Malik Newley on the first run, gain of about 2 on that first down.
That's a good little start for Newport Harbor's defense. Anticipate the run, make sure that you take that option away, and make sure the freshman quarterback has to throw.
Marcus Washington will throw on second down, taken down by Luke Garrido on the outside. That will be enough for a first down, a gain of about 10 yards on that play.
Oh, looks like there was a penalty. Yeah, there's the flag right there, right by the line of scrimmage.
This will look like it'll send back and negate the first down yardage for the Cowboys and back the Cowboys up in their own territory.
This is a Cajon team that went pretty deep within the playoffs. Had a nice little playoff run last year, but unfortunately fell short. Now a little bit of some new question marks have popped up. Is it the right call starting a freshman quarterback? Can Marcus Washington be the next Jaden Daniels and a plethora of past amazing quarterbacks at Cajon?
Second down and long for the Cowboys. Washington with trouble in his face, dumps down the screen, turns it upfield near the seam, and finally tackled down. So they do get the first down yardage, regardless of the penalty. That's a good gain there by the intended receiver, Elias Faroux.
Yeah, that's a nice little throw right there. Almost ran out of time there for Washington, but he was able to find his receiver right there. And it's always nice to have a nice little dump off when in doubt.
So after the first down gain, here come the Cowboys handoff. Bouncing back, turning outside, looking for a seam. Turns the corner, sheds a tackle down the sideline, and finally pushed out by Cruz Marcella on the edge. Malik Newley gets a big gain out of what could have been nothing on the initial tackle there.
And that's just smart running right there. I think Newley did a great job of being patient and not being greedy and trying to go up the gut and considering all of his options right there.
So the Cowboys already in Newport territory. They're up to the 38-yard line of the Sailors. First down. Marcus Washington rolls out to his left. Takes a hit. Down the field, it's caught. And tackled just before he could get to the end zone. Number 24 for the Cowboys, Cruz Garcia, close inside the 5.
That was just a great throw right there, right as he got hit. And that was a nice little tackle, touchdown-saving tackle right there.
Would have saved a touchdown, and now the Sailors have a chance to see if they can stop the Cowboys in their first trip to the red zone. They are at the 4-yard line now. Bunch formation. Sailors have a man on top. Handoff to Newley. Dances outside, finds the gap, and into the end zone. That was a quick score for the Cowboys.
Yeah, that was just smart running right there. He knew where to go, and that's just the experience from a smart runner. He kind of torched Newport Harbor last year when these two teams played at Estancia High School due to the fires in San Bernardino.
So they're going for 2 here on the PAT. Handoff to Newley. He goes to the same spot just like the touchdown. And looked like he got stopped initially, but the ref on the side says he's in.
That was a nice little, just enough, a bit of an effort there. Newport Harbor did kind of see the run was there, but unfortunately they just were a second too late.
So the Cowboys come down the field within 5 to 6 plays on their first drive of the game, and they're into the end zone and score 2 more on the PAT to make it 8-0. The Sailors down now, and we'll see their response in just a few. And like we talked about the rushing game, those numbers don't lie. 178 yards per game between the 3 games that they played so far. They're giving up 4.3 yards average per play.
Yeah, Newport Harbor is going to really have their hands full tonight defensively. They really have to dial in here in terms of their defense. Let's see what their offense can bring, but suddenly Cajon is starting to become the team that is averaging 20-plus points.
The Newport will set up to get ready to receive the kickoff. Stremick in the backfield, including Trevor Glynn. See if they can make a good return here. Owen Morris, the senior for the Cajon Cowboys, will kick this thing off. 8-0 the score early here in the first quarter. This will be returnable for Stremick. Cuts upfield, gets a good in-front tackle, and steps out at about the 44-yard line. A good return by Jackson Stremick.
And that's something you need. You need a nice little momentum builder for your team. Get your offense in good field position, put the defense on its heels early and often, and just make the defense sweat and make your offense allow the game to come to you instead of go to the game.
Mir last week, 15 for 30, 50% on attempts, 227 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 40-yard run. And he had to run a lot against the Vanguards last week. He'll take it here on first down from the 44. Mir, good pocket. A bit underthrown his intended target. Number 5, Shane McKibben, passing complete on first.
Yeah, it looked like Jake didn't really have too much time right there, and I just think that McKibben was a couple steps too far ahead of Mir on that throw.
And one of the big things about the Newport Harbor's O-line that you and I knew about early on in the season was Jagger DeNoon fighting with that hamstring injury. It looks like he's back there on the O-line. That's another addition for the Sailors O-line here tonight. Second down and 10. Muir takes it, sends it down the way, and immediately tackled before he could get back to the line of scrimmage. Ryan Palmer gets taken down by 2 different Cowboys.
Yeah, that was good recognition by the defense, and this Cajon team is really starting to dial in defensively. Now it's 3rd and long for Newport Harbor. They really got to get something going after a good kickoff return.
And just like the Cowboys offense, they have stars on the defense as well. Taylor Johnson, who is averaging 20 tackles per game, a 3-star recruit committed to USC. He had 147 tackles last season. He was top 10 in the entire state of California. Someone to look out for. 3rd and 11 for the Sailors on their first drive. Muir, a lot of time. Almost forced out of the pocket, finds his receiver just at the sticks. Shane McKibben, looks like that will be marked short of the first down. Just about a yard and a half.
Yeah. Gain of 10, but unfortunately he is just short.
Game decision for Coach Burns, and it looks like they're bringing out the punt team on 4th and short. And the Sailor faithful, maybe not exactly happy with that call, even though they're in Cowboy territory now.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting, but it's early in the game. You're down 8. This might be a safe decision for Burns, but he's the coach. We're the commentators. They're the fans. We can't question.
Short punt. Takes a good Sailor bounce all the way down to the 10. That's an excellent punt by Daniel Rico. Or as his nickname says, Daniel Uncle Rico.
From Mo Padios of Sunset Rewind.
So the Cowboys will take the field on their second drive after a good punt by Daniel Rico. And Marcus Washington will come out onto the field. So far through the season, 36 for 55, 364 yards. Maybe not as long as a lot of people think. 1-for-1 TD to interception ratio with 3 touchdowns and 3 interception. Here on first down, he will give it to Newley. He's got an open corner on the outside and tackled by the star on the Sailor side, Trevor Glynn.
Yeah, that was a nice little tackle there. It looked like Newley had a good little burst of speed right there. Had it not been for that tackle, he might have gotten that first down and a little bit more.
Marcus Washington had a 90-yard touchdown run last week against Etiwanda last week. Throw here on second down, finds a receiver, ball is out. They say complete.
Well, it's saying incomplete, then they're ruling the play dead.
Or at least that's what it seemed like initially with the hands waved up in the air, but it negates the big first down play there to Landon White, the intended receiver who drops the ball.
And that's a big break for Cajon. That's probably the one time you want to have an incompletion, just because had that not been an incompletion, Newport Harbor would have recovered the fumble and been in business.
3rd down and short, handoff to Newley. Steps around, finds a little gap between the Sailors' tackles and able to get the first down.
Yeah, and that, again, smart running by Newley. I mean, this kid is something special, and if he's not committed, then college, well, he's only a junior, but if I were a college recruit, a college coach, or a college scout, I would keep an eye on him.
Something to look out for tonight. They also have Jordan White on their side of the offense as well. Last year, he walked all over the Sailors, 189 yards rushing. There's another handoff to Newley. And taken down right at about the line of scrimmage. This time, Newley gets stopped in his tracks.
Yeah, that was a nice recognition by Newport Harbor to stuff the run right there. They got to make sure that Cajon gets too comfortable with the run, and then they have to pretty much start to throw.
Excuse me, Jordan White is actually the running back on that play. He stays out there on the field. 2nd down and 10 for the Cowboys. Goes back to White. Outside, missed tackle, another missed tackle. Almost broke a 3rd one, but finally taken down by Luke Garrido.
Yeah, that was a great tackle by Garrido. It looked like he only used one hand on that one, and without that tackle, it would have probably been a first down.
So 3rd down and 2 for the Cowboys. Another 3rd down here to convert for the Cowboys. Newport needing a stop here to see if they can get the ball back, down 8-0.
Sailors need this stop here.
It's another handoff to Jordan White. He goes to the outside, tried to find a seam, but finally getting tackled by the Sailors. And it looked like the ball was almost out for a second, but they say he was down on the ground.
Yeah, great tackle by Ethan Ambat, as that's going to be a loss for 1. And unless Cajon wants to roll the dice really early, then I expect Newport Harbor to get the ball back. Oh, they looks like they are rolling the dice.
Very interesting.
Or they could draw Newport Harbor offsides.
It would be 4th down and 3 from this spot right now. Washington is in the shotgun with his running back aside him. This is a handoff to White. He steps outside. Sailors moving laterally, and looks like he will be right in front of the sticks to move the chains once again. So a big gamble there by Nick Rogers in their own territory, and they get the first down.
Yeah, they had exactly enough for that first down, and that is a gutsy little play right there. And imagine if Newport Harbor had gotten the stop. It looked like it was going to be close, but White had just enough space on the left side to get that first down, and Cajon keeps their drive going.
So the first 4th down conversion of the game converted by the Cowboys. Newport Harbor has gotten up to 3rd down and 4th downs on this drive, but unable to stop the run game. Quick pass here. Stiff arm. And a good tackle by Trevor Glenn to stop Landon White, or Lambo White as he's nicknamed, for a short gain.
Yeah, and that's a great that's a great recognition there. Like, White was actually all by himself right there on that play. So, but it was exactly 10 yards on that play for the first down.
Another first down conversion for the Cowboys. Coach Nick Rogers of the Cowboys, he's been around since 2015, and that was actually the first year Jaden Daniels showed up to the school, and he was named the starting quarterback, a freshman on varsity. And despite his small undersize of 125 pounds, he showed up. Why? He deserved to be in that spot, and it's picked up by Newport. The recognition from Marcella. Houdini's in the house, and he's in the end zone.
Wow! Read that like a book. Just unbelievable. He just short pitched it, and then Marcella hooking up some Ethan Marsala chicken for 6. Man. Unbelievable recognition right there. That might be one of the best plays we've seen this season.
He jumped out like a cannon on the line. It would look like it was going to be a pitch to the running back Jordan White, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, from the smoke and mist, Cruz Marcella comes and cuts in front of the ball and takes it to the house. Rico to add the extra point. It is good.
Right down Irvine Avenue.
8-7, Newport responds on defense. And it seems like every time that we've been in this booth, we've seen one explosive play from the defense. We saw it against Lancaster with Gonball getting that fumble recovered all the way to the house. And now Cruz Marcella with basically an interception all the way to the house as well.
Yeah, we could probably count that as an interception, because it looked like Washington was trying to pitch the ball forward, and again, Marcella just read that perfectly.
Goodness, I don't think any of us here was expecting a play like that from Cruz Marcella, but there's a reason why he's considered one of the smarter players on the team. He says he plays for his brother who passed away in his lifetime. He plans to attend UCSB, and one of the seniors that we talked about being honored here tonight, and you saw it in the video as well.
Yeah, and I just got to say that highlight was da-da-da, da-da-da worthy.
We're going to need to send that to ESPN 100%. Kickoff into the end zone. It will be elected for the touchback. So Cowboys, after the interception from Cruz Marcella, we'll see if they can operate again like they were doing on that drive.
Yeah, and that must be a confidence booster for the Newport Harbor defense. Now it's time to see what they can do on this next drive from Cajon.
And the best way to combat a run game essentially is forcing turnovers, and that was basically a forced turnover from the Newport defense. They did so there on that second drive from the Cowboys. Here's drive number 3 with about 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Washington hands off a low one. Newly turns around and tackled down on the ground for about 5 yards.
Yeah, and again, another good handoff right there. And Cajon is really effectively running the ball, and they have a two-headed monster. They've got White, Jordan White for that matter, and they've got Newley, who is running really effectively, already with 50 rushing yards.
Coming into this game, Newley had 15 carries, 150 yards, 10 yards per carry. He has a touchdown that he got last week as well. Washington now on the throw. On the post route, it's caught and enough for the first down before being tackled by Trevor Glynn.
Yeah, that was Landon White on that catch. Nice little catch right there, as he was just left wide open right there.
Landon White, a junior, 6'1", 180 pounds, has multiple offers, not to mention a few: Tulane, Wisconsin, San Diego State, Jackson State, Buffalo, and much more. First down for the Cowboys. Washington rolls outside, off his mark, just around the 48-yard line, incomplete, second down.
I think he threw that a little bit too wide on that one. He had the right idea, but I just think that the receiver was just a little bit disconnected on that one. But I dig the idea from Washington, trying to get his receiver involved, trying to make a tough catch on the sideline, get out of bounds, and whatnot.
On second down, Washington hands off, tackled in the backfield. Once again, Cruz Marcella, just like the last drive, showing out on this drive.
I said on the pregame show, Marcella is going to need to really step it up defensively, and he has so far.
Marcella having an early breakout here on this Thursday night, and we haven't even gotten to the second quarter yet. Third down and 10. Handoff again, open seam this time though. Up the gut, into open space, and finally forced out on the backside by Ethan Ambacht.
Yeah, and honestly, that was a very sneaky play right there. Washington just snuck that ball to Nolly like passing notes in a classroom.
So Newley goes out to the sideline. The first time we see an empty backfield with Washington on first down inside the 30 of Newport Harbor. He rolls out to his right, has trouble in his face, and a throw dropped by his intended receiver.
Yeah, that one looked a little bit high. Good idea on that one, but pressure coming from against the receiver, and he just could not make that catch.
Elias Farrow was the intended receiver. It will be second down and 10 here. Newport looking for another answer, just like Cruz Marcella offered them in the last drive.
Yeah, Newport Harbor, it's kind of going to be that crunch time right here, especially since Cajon is pretty fairly deep in the territory.
Washington takes the snap, flips it high up in the air. It's a screen set up, turning upfield, open space, and into the end zone. Cowboy touchdown.
That's just a backbreaker right there. But when in doubt, you got it. When in doubt, flip it and dump it off, if anything.
Rob Jones for the Cowboys on the touchdown there. For the Cowboys, it adds 6 more to the board, and it looks like they're going to do another 2-point attempt here again. Handoff to White, and he's tackled down at the 3-yard line. The 2 points converted, no good, so we're back to basically an even game here, but the Tars down by a touchdown.
Yeah, this is where the offense has really got to get it going. I mean, Newport Harbor, their defense showed up on the previous drive with that pick 6. Now we got to see what the offense has in store for us. I mean, for Jake Muir, I expect a big game from him. Again, senior night, he wants to prove to everybody that he is a college quarterback and he can lead his team to another win at Davidson Field.
Newport Harbor on the first drive drove down inside the Cajon Cowboys area right around the 45-yard line, stopped on third down, went for punt on fourth down. This will be their second drive of the game, and they have had a lot of rest since then. Kickoff here by Owen Morris. Line driver. Returnable for Stremick. This spins around, and this time, not a return like he had the last one, but still good enough to bring him out to the 29-yard line.
Yeah, Newport Harbor, in terms of like kickoff returns, they just don't have that Cade Fiegel, but Stremick does enough to try to get Newport Harbor its good field position.
Yeah, Cade Fiegel was a big name for Newport Harbor last year. 75-yard return touchdown against Tesoro and a 100-yard return against San Juan Hills a year ago. Not here anymore since he graduated, and they are turning to Jackson Stremick and Trevor Glynn to fill in that spot. First down here for the Tars. Mir rolling out. Trouble in his face. Just flicks it up in the air and out of play.
Yeah, and he was still in the pocket right there, so it's not going to be intentional grounding. So when in doubt, you got to throw it away. Live to fight another play. Just make sure you don't get sacked and whatnot. That's the worst thing that could possibly happen.
Uzziah Todd, who has 3 tackles for loss and also forced a fumble a week ago, had the pressure on Jacob Mir as he was rolling out to his left side. Jackson Stremick now at his side at the running back position. We haven't seen Takamori or Matthew Yamakawa yet. Second down. Handoff to Stremick. He'll turn around, finds a corner, and the Cowboys meet him at the line of scrimmage to bring up third down.
Yeah, he got sandwiched on that play. And honestly, the good to try to get the run game going, but Cajon read that perfectly. And now it's another situation where it's 3rd and long. And okay, that was a gain of 1 on that play, but still, another 3rd and long situation. Newport Harbor just cannot be putting themselves in this situation early in the game.
Jake Mir seemed to be one of the players to pull him out of long yardage situations. Last week, 71 yards on 9 carries, 7.9 average, and the longest one, a 20-yard run. 3rd down and 9. Sailors looking to convert. Mir, good pocket, deep ball. McKibben almost had it in his grips.
Yeah, it was 2-on-1 on that play. Had McKibben made that catch, that would have been an amazing highlight, but to no avail. And unfortunately, Newport Harbor's just going to have to punt it away.
Newport Harbor for second time stopped on a drive. The second one of the evening. They'll punt away to the Cajon Cowboys. Cowboys right now holding a bit of momentum after that touchdown drive they did previously. Rico sends it away. Really good punt. Backs up the returner. Did he touch that ball? They're going to say he didn't, and it's picked up by James Callahan right about the 14-yard line. So Rico having himself a night so far on just 2 punts.
Yeah, that was a booming kick right there. I probably didn't see it going. If I didn't know better, I thought that ball would have gone deep into the night, but it thankfully dropped for Cajon's sake, and thankfully they didn't touch it. I kind of agree with you. I thought Cajon kind of got a little bit of a slight touch on it, but no definitive evidence on that play.
And obviously no replay assistance to help out with that. Here's Washington rolling out to his right, has a one-on-one man at the sticks about the 24-yard line. That's enough for the first down on the first play of this drive.
Yeah, and Newport Harbor, I hate to have to bring this up to Newport Harbor fans, but they have yet to get a first down, and they really got to get it going here.
Lambeau
Once
White,
they get the ball on offense, sorry.
Lambeau White on the reception there, and like you said, gonna need another big stop here. They have stopped the Cowboys throughout this first quarter on a few drives, brought up 3rd down, just haven't been able to force a turnover and downs. They had 1 4th down attempt, but the run by Newley was able to get the first down.
It's like it's going to be a timeout called by Cajon.
And so far tonight, we haven't really seen Marcus Washington get rolled out of the pocket yet. He has 164 rushing yards. He's averaging 7.5 per run. We talked about the 90-yard touchdown, and he has 2 touchdowns this season. He had 117 yards rushing last week. We haven't seen him much, but he hasn't really had to do so with both Malik Newley and Jordan White doing most of the work.
Yeah, and you don't want your quarterback to have like too many quarterback runs, just because you don't want to risk your quarterback getting dinged up, and then it gets to a point where they have to bring in the backup and whatnot, and then it's like you got to learn the whole new system, whole new gameplay, you're on the road, all that sort of thing. So I think it's safe to keep Washington fresh for other situations, short yard gain situations.
Washington throws again, almost intercepted by Trevor Glenn on the overthrow there, the intended target. So it was Rob Jones on the intended pass there. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, that was a pretty high pass right there. A little too high for Jones's liking. I mean, I get the right idea. It was one-on-one right there, but I think it's just a wee bit high on the throw.
Here's 2nd down. It's a handoff, and he's met by the Sailors in the backfield, taken down. It's a 1-yard loss.
Yeah, that's a good run right there. I think the running back kind of ran into his own lineman and whatnot, so I think that was a little bit of a miscommunicated run right there, or miscommunicated handoff right there, or delayed handoff.
But Ryder Godball was in the mix there on the tackle. It'll bring 3rd down and 11 for the Cowboys here, and see if the Newport Sailors can get a stop for the first time tonight against the Cowboys.
See if they can force a punt.
Washington, good time, one-on-one, picked off!
Shane McKibben on the pick, and Newport Harbor has it on their own 49. And just like that, Newport Harbor has 2 turnovers forced against this amazing Cajon deep offense.
Shane McKibben, who can play both sides of the ball, gets an interception here. He's had 3 touchdown receptions so far this season. Now he has a pick on the year.
Check that. It looks like the ball will be spotted at the Newport Harbor 47-yard line, but still, that's good field position for Newport Harbor. And like I said, Shane McKibben needed to come up big in this game. I never said what side of the ball he needed to come up big on. I just said he needed to come up big and prove that he is the player that we all thought he would be.
Well, let's see if he can do something here on the offensive side of the ball. Handoff to Takamori. Good gain of about 6 yards on the first run of this drive.
Yeah, gotta get the run game going. Gotta put Cajon on their heels when it comes to their defense. And it looks like that was a gain of 7.
You see the replay of the interception there earlier. 2nd down at about 3 yards. Near this time hands it off again, and this time Takamori doesn't have a chance to get upfield.
That was well read by Cajon, and honestly, that was, fortunately for them, a gain of 1, or gain of 1 for Newport Harbor. Fortunately for the Sailors, as Newport Harbor is going to go into the second half still looking for their first down of the game.
Clock has struck 0 on the scoreboard, and now the refs call it. That's the end of the first quarter. Sailors behind by a touchdown, 14-7 between the Sailors and the Cajon Cowboys. We'll take a bit of a short break here on TAR TV Sports. Join us back here on the second quarter of this game. Back here in the second quarter as we get underway, 3rd and short for the Sailors. Mir, lot of time, finds a seam. It's Stremick before he gets taken down, but enough for the first down.
What a laser right there for Mir right there. What a straight up dart right there, finding Stremick, who was a great slot receiver in terms of the throwing game.
You got to credit the O-line there. That they gave him about maybe 5 or 6, 7 seconds in the pocket there. We're going to say 6-7, 6-7 in the pocket there. But good play there by Jake Muir. First down.
First down of the game for Newport Harbor. Took him a quarter, but better late than never.
Muir fakes the handoff. Pressure. Finds McKibben as he goes down to the ground. He's got the grab.
Big catch right there, and McKibben was just left wide open, making the Cajon defense pay right there. And you just can't leave a receiver like that wide open.
McKibben had a touchdown last week on a big play. Looking for another one in this game. He's already got an interception. First down and the first trip to the red zone for the Tars. Takamori in the backfield. McKibben out wide. Stremick on the far wide side as well. Takamori gets the ball, goes upfield, and he's inside the 5-yard line.
A nice little run right there from Takamori. And Newport Harbor's got to get that run game going and expect Glenn Baranowski to on a few of these runs, just because Newport Harbor is kind of in that red zone.
Adam Chani checks into the game for Stremick. It looks like Newport will go with a heavy package here on this play. They have both McKibben and Ryan Palmer at the wide receiver spots.
Yeah, Palmer on the far right, McKibben on the far left.
Second down. Handoff to Takamori. Found a corner and into the end zone. Touchdown.
Yeah, and that was great running right there by Takamori. Had a wide open left lane, and he just drove it in for 6. And Newport Harbor, an extra point away from knotting this thing up at 14 apiece.
Extra point attempt here for Uncle Danny Rico. He had 2 for 2 last week, also had a field goal. Flag on the play as the snap went through.
Let's see what the flag is.
Looks
If
like
it's on Newport Harbor, Cajon may either assess that on the kickoff, or they may have Newport Harbor try to kick it again.
it's
And the
waved
flag
off.
is being waved off anyway, so a little anticlimactic right there. But what isn't anticlimactic is a 14-14 score with 10:02 remaining in the second quarter.
And it's thanks to those takeaways that Newport's defense have managed to knock through. We talked about the Cruz Marcella interception to the end zone, and then the interception by Shane McKibben gave the Newport Harbor Sailors an opportunity, and they finally are able to get into the end zone on the offensive side of things tonight.
Points off turnovers, those are huge for Newport Harbor. And like we mentioned, the defense has really got to show up and answer the bell. They were able to do that so far. They just got to keep it going the rest of the way. There's lots of game remaining, and again, they're facing a Cajon team that is averaging 20+ points per game.
Danny Rico will send it away. 10 minutes in the second quarter. It's a tie ball game. Returnable for the Cowboys. Taken down right about the 22-yard line. The coverage there. Landon White to bring down the returner for the Cowboys.
Yeah, nice little tackle right there from Newport Harbor. Pin Cajon deep within its territory. Make him work to try to get back its rhythm. Got to keep putting the pressure on Cajon. Take away the run game. Force Washington to throw.
Washington rolls out on first down. Turns around, goes upfield high for his intended receiver out of play. He wanted a big play on that first down play.
Yeah, and they wanted to go to Lambeau White right there, but to no avail. And it was a good decision, but if you notice what happened on that play, it looked like Washington kind of bobbled the ball a little. And either it might be nerves, maybe a little bit of some jitters. And it looks like the clock is continuing to run, so we're going to need to get a little stoppage, and clock crew is going to need to reset the clock.
The ball went out of play, so the clock stops regardless of what happens. Good crowd here tonight at Davidson Field. The students have packed the tar pit. Fans and parents are here all up in the stands, and especially on a Thursday night where most of the students have school tomorrow, this is a good turnout.
Yeah, the reason being that Newport Harbor is playing on Thursday is because Corona Del Mar is playing Charter Oak here tomorrow, as the Sailors and Sea Kings do share Davidson Field. I will be at that game tomorrow for those that do want to see me, but yeah, I digress. 9:44 remains in the second quarter after that incomplete pass, now that we've got everything squared away.
Second down for the Cowboys. Looking to make another trip to the end zone. They have been thwarted by the Newport defense twice already tonight. Washington hands off to his running back. Tries to burst through the hole, but he's met by the Sailors in the backfield.
Yeah, it looks like that was Newly on that play. Gonna get like 2 yards on the play, but it does have Cajon in a 3rd and long situation, and this is, if Newport Harbor smart, they're probably sending maybe a big-time blitz right here.
3rd down and 8. We'll see if they come with that blitz. The play action outside rollout, and it is incomplete as he goes out of bounds. That throw a little bit wide. The receiver had to go get it in Lambeau White, but he's out of bounds with control.
Yeah, and it looked like, that's just a tough break for Cajon. Good idea by Washington trying to place that ball perfectly, but unfortunately just a little bit of some off execution, and yeah, we're seeing Cajon punt this ball.
One of the first punts of the game from Cajon.
3 and out as well.
And the first 3 and out for the Sailors as well. This is a good chance here. Sailors playing conservatively for this punt. It's a pretty good one. No one is going to get it to return, and it will take a roll.
Newport Harbor bounce.
Down to the 38-yard line, so another good spot for the Sailors to operate from.
And that's what Newport Harbor wants. So they want their defense to get wins on their side of the ball. Now they got to have their offense put up points and put up success and maybe try to regain the lead.
So Newport Harbor will come out after the punt from the Cowboys. The first big stop, 3 and out for the Sailors defense, who have given the Sailors good opportunities throughout this first half. The pick 6 and the interception from McKibben has given the Sailors a chance to get back into this game. Here's a handoff to Stremick. He trips up on the ground. The Green Monster got him that time in the backfield.
Yeah, that's just tough right there. And Cajon was ready for that run regardless. I think that it would have probably either been a loss regardless, or it just would have been a return to the line of scrimmage. But either way, got to run a little bit more effectively there. Got to watch the blitzes from Cajon. Because Cajon knows that they can't allow Newport Harbor to get into a rhythm, especially if it's Jake Meir.
Jake Meir has been absolutely calm in that pocket throughout the first 3 games of the season. Finds his man in the middle of the field. That was placed perfectly for Owen Baldakowski.
The two-sport athlete playing football and volleyball. And what you have to learn, and what you all need to know, is that volleyball players need to jump high, and Baldakowski, with those hops, was able to jump and get that first down. Good for 18 yards.
And it makes sense for a guy who's an outside hitter for the Sailors men's volleyball team. You got to make those kills, and you got to jump high over the net. That's exactly what he did. But credit to Meir for putting that ball in the right spot over 2 different Cowboy defenders.
Jake the Snake slithering his way when it comes to having success when it comes to Newport Harbor.
Jake Meir now once again sends it down to Takamori. Takamori gets taken out of bounds on a short gain of about 5. What a good productive run.
Yeah, and when in doubt, just dump it off to your running back. And hope to see what he can do. Who knows? Maybe he can turn it into a touchdown and whatnot. But I think that's a smart play right there. Don't force the issue. Don't throw it away if you don't need to. Just dump it off to your running back. See what he can get. There's no shame in that. Yards are yards.
2nd down and 5 for the Sailors here. Back inside Cowboy territory. Takamori one more time. Pushes his way and throttles up the field to get the first down.
Yeah, I think that tackle might have actually been the best thing for Takamori because I think that momentum pushed him forward to getting that first down.
One of the big differences about this.
Yeah, and that is going to be a first down. Sorry to cut you off.
A first down here for the Sailors. No, you're good. But we talked about the different look about this team and the youth movement that is coming through here now. Last year, the Sailors were really diced up from the Cowboys offense, but there was a reason why they went 9-3 last year and made it to Division III CIF in the Southern Section bracket. Jake Muir finds a screen. Takamori, good blocking in front of him. And he's finally taken down on a gain of about 6. What almost looked like he was going to get taken down on a sack. Muir able to get Takamori upfield.
Yeah, again, when in doubt, dump it to your running back. Make sure he gets the yards because some people judge about when it comes to dumping off and doing checkdowns, but yards are yards. Yards are yards, and the more yards you can get, the more you can just put the defense on its heels.
2nd down and 5. Sailors set up. Takamori gets the handoff. Runs through a duo of Cowboys, but he still gets upfield to get the first down. He has been efficient on this drive so far.
Yeah, Takamori has been running really effectively for Newport Harbor, and that was a nice little gain right there. Gain of 8 on that play.
Jonah Takamori last year unable to play because of that ACL injury, comes back here this season, and he's been a factor for the Sailors so far, playing smash-mouth football on this drive.
Yeah, Newport Harbor's got to run effectively. I mean, stopping the run on the opponent's side is one thing. Running effectively on your side is another.
First down after the run by Takamori. He gets the handoff again. Almost met in the line of scrimmage, but able to turn it up, breaking a tackle and getting a gain of about 4.
Yeah, that was actually a high snap that was snapped to Mir, and it looked like that was going to be like a stopped play, maybe a gain of nothing or a loss on that play. But again, credit Takamori. He is making the most of his carries, and Newport Harbor is reaping the benefit.
So far, we haven't heard much from Taylor Johnson, who's been quiet throughout the first half. He had a tackle for loss last week and a sack. But right now, the Sailors operating inside the red zone on 2nd down.
Yeah, got to remember that Newport Harbor's offensive line is shining, and a coach once said, no line, no shine. Shout out to Coach Charlie T. Gantvort.
And off to Takamori again. Another efficient run. That's a gain of about 4, maybe 5 yards. It'll be 3rd down and manageable inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, that was a gain of 5, and I expect maybe Jake to maybe keep this one, maybe just check it down again, try to get the score. And Newport Harbor, I feel this could be like 4-down territory just because Newport Harbor does have the momentum. They're putting a lot of pressure on Cajon. They're telling Cajon, hey, your defense has got to come to play against us because we're here, we can play offense too, you know.
This will likely set the tone here. The Sailors in that big formation. Heavyweight. Baranowski gets the handoff. He gets enough for the first down before finally gang tackled by the Cowboys. Now he's down to the 6-yard line, moves the sticks.
Yep, gain of 3, and that is enough for the first down. And Baranowski, that was another option for Newport Harbor, running with Baranowski because he is such a strong runner. And we've been seeing him quite a bit in terms of like run plays in the red zone.
He had 4 rushing touchdowns last year as a junior. In his senior year, he already has 2 touchdowns. And most of them when they're operating close within that red zone area. And this is a perfect chance here. He does check out, though. Takamori's back in at running back.
Expect a throw.
Mir turns around, 360, rolls out to his right. A lot of open space, and at the edge of the end zone, it is caught by the Sailors for the score.
And that was Ryan Palmer on that catch. Had a little bit of a toe drag swag right there as Newport Harbor gets the score, and just like that, they are up for the first time tonight.
Newport Harbor stealing it from the Cowboys and controlling and setting the tone with that touchdown, it seems like, here in this late second half, or late first half, excuse me. Rico's kick is good. 21-14, the Sailors have the lead.
Yeah, and let me just tell you, the receiver corps for Newport Harbor is young, but they are stepping up. Ryan Palmer, he's had himself a couple of nice games. You also have Shane McKibben, who is coming up big, not only on offense but defense as well. So this Newport Harbor team is going to look pretty good in terms of its receiving corps going forward into the future.
Yeah, we talked about Shane McKibben. He's a junior. Stremick is a junior. Wyatt Wilson's a junior. Palmer's a junior. Even Owen Baldakowski. So the mass part of their wide receiver corps will be here next year. And if anything is saying much, their future quarterback looking like Jordan Spigarelli, the professor.
I was about to say, everyone might be thinking, well, Jake Mears graduating after this year. What are they going to do? Well, you got the professor, Jordan Spigarelli.
Here's the kickoff to the Cowboys with about 3 minutes. It's returnable from the other side corner, almost tackled behind. And now the Sailors tackled around, and he somehow stayed on his feet, but he goes out of bounds near the 19-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like the returner was playing a little bit of pinball wizard right there, but Newport Harbor finally got him down. And I just got to actually say that Newport Harbor running the ball effectively was so big. That's because it chewed up a lot of clock in that second quarter. So Newport Harbor not only preventing Cajon from getting a whole lot of time, but you got to remember Newport Harbor gets the ball to start the second half. So if Newport Harbor's defense can come up big, then this could be a lot of momentum shifting right here going into the final drive.
Massive stack of the line for this Sailors defense. A throw down the field, in the middle, turning upfield, all by himself. No one will get there and into the end zone. The Cowboys are spawned fast.
That is just a backbreaker right there. Just blown coverage, and man, that is a big momentum booster for Cajon. But just a backbreaker for Newport Harbor. You just can't leave one-on-one coverage right there. And if so, you just can't have the defender right behind the receiver.
That's exactly what it looked like there. And credit Marcus Washington, who basically would look like a zero blitz from the Sailors defense, able to find Lambo White down the middle on a post route and took it all the way to the other side for that score. PAT is good, almost blocked by the Sailors, but the game is now tied 21 apiece with 2 minutes and 45 left in the first half.
Yeah, and Newport Harbor, it looks like they're going to get the final drive, but if they can get some sort of points here, get some momentum going into halftime, that would be big because, again, Newport Harbor gets the ball to start the second half, and they could definitely build off any score going into halftime.
Well, last year, there were a lot of different mixed-up plays for the Cowboys in this game when the Sailors visited San Bernardino. Some of those were trick plays. So potentially here, especially with 2 minutes and 45 seconds, do you try to run it maybe a little bit of razzle-dazzle before the half comes out?
Mm-hmm.
Owen Morris will set to kick off to the Newport Sailors. It just took one play to tie up this game for the Cowboys. We'll see if the Sailors can turn it around and get the lead back.
And sometimes that's all it takes, just one play.
Trevor Glynn doesn't go for it. Rolls into the end zone for a touchback. Trevor Glynn, one of the other seniors, also graduating from this program. His brother Tony graduated not too long ago, 62 tackles in that senior season. Trevor Glynn plans to attend the University of Tennessee, the Volunteers, in the next few years.
Nice little school there. I know a few friends that go to Tennessee.
They have a good football program, obviously, and the way that situation went between the two quarterbacks between UCLA and Tennessee, what a storyline that's been. Regardless here, the Sailors walk back onto the field. Jake Muir, 21 apiece for both teams. They'll operate from the 20-yard line. First down. Muir gives it.
Oh,
immediately met at the line. Big hit. And a tackle for loss.
Yeah, I could feel that tackle right from up here.
Goodness, you could feel that impact, like you said, from up here. Almost on the Richter scale as well. It'll be second down and about 13 after that big tackle from the Cowboys defensive line, which also, by the way, is a much newer defensive line than what they had last year. All lined up by Brady Rappaport, Eugene Newley, the brother of the running back, Malik Newley, and Jackson Brown at that line. Second down and 13. Muir empties the pocket, flips it down to Takamori. He takes a few steps, and he's taken down on a gain of about 7 yards.
Yeah, nice little check down. Gonna try to get the yards that you lost on the previous play back. This is a big play right here. The money down.
Newport uses the timeout here to save the clock a little bit. Minute 45 seconds. 21 apiece.
Actually, it looks like Cajon took the timeout.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, they did. Cajon takes time. So Newport does have all their timeouts still before the end of this first half. So most likely we'll use those if they can drive down the field here. Well, they're going to need a few passing plays, it looks like, to stay within this one. A bit of an interesting thing for the Cowboys. They've had to, they played a few interesting teams throughout this non-league part of their schedule. They're going to play Perriman in Texas in week 5. That for Perriman's homecoming game, the 6-time state champions in the state of Texas from Odessa, Texas.
Iron sharpens iron, and this Cajon team is not afraid to get down and dirty when it comes to scheduling. Oh, no!
35, the ball is out!
He never fumbles.
And it looks like it's the way of the Cowboys. Jake Muir got the ball jarred loose by one of the Cowboys' defensive linemen, and the Cowboys will have perfect position inside Newport territory to try to take the lead.
Yeah, it looked like, that ball was just jarred loose and just corralled by the Cowboys. Just cannot happen. I was complimenting this offensive line perfectly, but fortunately just a little bit of a missed assignment, and now Cajon with all the momentum, and momentum is just so big in this game.
This will be a big tone setter whichever way this drive results. Washington on first down. Throw down the middle. High above his receiver, out of play.
Yeah, and I also should mention that was actually the first turnover that Newport Harbor had. I want to say that might have been the first turnover that Newport Harbor had since probably week 1.
And you can really argue that first play and turnover as well wasn't exactly a bad play necessarily by the offense. It was just a tip pass that was in the back from Murrieta Mesa, and they took it to the house on a short yard.
Oh, yeah.
So second down and 10 for the Cowboys.
It's like
Play
it
called
is
dead.
a timeout by Newport Harbor, or no, it's false start. So yeah, false start on the Cajon Cowboys. So now it becomes second and 15.
Newport Harbor gets a bit of a break here. The distance is extended to the first down marker, 15 yards, second down. Washington rolls out to his left, settles in, throws high up in the air, and it again a little bit high for his intended receiver, and good coverage by Trevor Glynn on the outside.
Yeah, another bit deep ball here. I don't know if that's the game plan of the of Cajon right there, but back-to-back deep balls. I get the idea of trying to go one-on-one, and you got a freshman quarterback who is trying to throw a deep ball, but I can't knock it. But it's now 3rd and long. Newport Harbor needs to come up clutch with this stop.
5 receivers out wide for the Cowboys, 3rd down and 15. Washington takes it himself, calls his number, runs upfield, and he's met by the Sailors about the 19, 18-yard line. It'll be 4th down and about 5.
Yeah, that was just smart maneuvering by Washington. He made the Newport Harbor defense think that they were going to be throwing, but to no avail.
Washington stays into the game. Offense on the field, 4th down. This will be a big play here for the Sailors.
Good try to draw him off sides here.
This will also, like we mentioned, kind of set the tone.
Clock too.
The clock is rolling right now.
Yeah, so it's going to be timeout, Cajon.
So it's a timeout here for the Cowboys with about, it looks like they put the clock at 39 seconds on the clock here. And this is where we stand right now. It's been a very good game between these two teams. Not a much closer game than what people saw last year between the Cowboys and the Sailors. The Sailors getting right back to where they scored last year with 21 points. The Cowboys had 41 points on the Sailors last year. But it's a close one, 21 apiece right now, Taryn.
Yeah, Cajon did graduate some key pieces to graduation. A little bit of a new team right here, but they're still the same Cajon. It'll be interesting to see what Cajon does. Do they go for it on 4th down? Do they attempt to go for the field goal to try to take the points and have its defense try to do the job?
Last year
I think they're going for it.
Last year they had Evan Powell and Brandon Rivers. Both were highly recruited players in high school. 3-star in Evan Powell, no longer here. It's Marcus Washington to lead the offense. They're going to go for it, it seems like. Snap to Washington. Rolls around, backs up, throws to the end zone, and it is caught in the end zone.
That is just that's just a tough play for Newport Harbor, but a great throw by Washington, finding his receiver. The 3rd time was the charm in terms of trying to throw that deep ball, and Cajon back in the lead.
So the 2nd time they've gone for it on 4th down. Both times they've worked out for the Cowboys, and now they have the lead. Extra point is up and good. 28 for the Cowboys, 21 for the Sailors, with 32 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, and even though there's still some time left and Newport Harbor has all 3 timeouts, they're going to have to work smart and fast if they want to get some points and get some momentum. Heck, even a field goal wouldn't be a bad thing for Newport Harbor. Just got to get some sort of momentum because you've allowed 2 straight scores after seeing your offense go down the field, chew up a lot of clock. This Cajon team just likes to go fast, likes to go smart, just go boom, 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 and just make sure they put points on the board.
Last week when they played El Medina, it was 10-6 going into the half, still fairly close. And this has been the big thing for the Sailors so far this year. A lot of very close games, one-possession games that they've been in, and still here almost before the first half goes down in another one-possession game situation again. The 32 seconds is the situation. Tars down by a single touchdown. Cowboys will kick away.
And you gotta give credit to Cajon. I think that was a very methodical drive. Capitalized on the turnover. Like I said, points off turnovers are just so crucial. You just can't turn the ball over in that situation. And Newport Harbor, they've got some work to do.
Line drive kick over the head of Stremick and into the end zone for the touchback. And there's a little bit of chipperness in the middle of the field there.
I'm supposed to get one of the players and then run by and ask them a question. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, you do. It's like, hey, come here.
So the touchback in the end zone. None of the Sailors decided to take it out. This was also something we actually saw in the Monday Night Football game between the Bears and the Vikings when the Vikings were getting the ball back and took it out of the end zone to kill the clock. And it looks like the Sailors are just going to elect to knee it down here on the ground and go to the locker room down a single touchdown.
Yep. That's a probably wise decision. Don't want to give the ball back by any means or don't want to make any sort of silly decision. So Newport Harbor down, but certainly not out. That's for sure.
Down but not out 100%. Newport Harbor down by a single touchdown here at Davidson Field. 28-21. The Cowboys are on top after what has been a massive game thus far for both teams and another one-possession game that we've seen here. Taryn, what have we seen here so far in this first half?
It's definitely been a battle of two high-powered offenses. The defense is also showing some flashes. Newport Harbor kind of got a little bit gassed on the last couple possessions, but honestly, I think there's still a lot of game left, a lot of momentum. Newport Harbor gets the ball to start. They got to start swing early and often when it comes to getting the points on the board.
We've seen a lot of turnovers in this game, a lot of big plays, all lined up for what should be a massive second half here at Davidson Field. For us here at Target TV Sports, we'll take a small break here. Justin Lee and Taryn Rodriguez will be back here 28-21, Cowboys over the Sailors so far.
here we are with this hot dog race. This is halftime here at Newport Harbor Davidson Field. Here's the hot dog race. And they're off. The hot dog 1 and 4 are off and running. Hot dog 4 is in the lead, and it looks like hot dog 4 wins this hot dog race. Hot dog 4 with the jeans on is the winner of this hot dog race, and he will be taking home, unofficially, a fresh pair of Franks, showing some love to hot dog number 1 as he was able to just barely get second. But hot dog number 4 takes the race, and he will be, can't confirm this, doused with mustard and maybe a little ketchup at the end. So that is your hot dog race here at halftime here at Davidson Field. We will be right back for our game for the second half of Newport Harbor versus Cajon right after this.
Welcome back to Davidson Field. It's been a very entertaining game here so far. Justin Lee alongside Taryn Rodriguez joining us here in the second half. It's 28-21. Cowboys up on top over the Newport Sailors so far. And like we were talking about, very entertaining. A lot of great plays so far between both sides of the ball. And when we talked about those keys early in the game, and the big thing, especially, it's been about the run game and stopping that run game in particular. But the Tars, they have given up a lot of rushing yards. But the big thing for the defense has been the turnovers, Taryn.
Yeah, Newport Harbor's defense did show up early, but I feel when it came to the waning seconds of the second quarter, I just think that they kind of got gashed, and Cajon just found the big plays to just make the big points happen, and that's what a good team like Cajon does on the road. That, remember, they are a very solid team. They've scored 27-plus points in all of their games. I think this Cajon team is definitely effective. Newport Harbor really has to step it up, not only on defense, but on offense as well. They just cannot allow Cajon to get their way in terms of both sides of the ball.
Yeah, we saw some really amazing plays so far in that first half. And coming back here, Sailors will get the ball back to start off since they kicked away to begin this game. We've seen the best of the Sailors come out and show what they can do. But the Cowboys have done the same thing. And it's all come from Lambo White, Malik Newley, Jordan White, and Marcus Washington leading that offense. We'll see how the Sailors respond here. Return on the way for Stremick. Got a good block. Turns upfield, makes two-man miss. And he's up to about the 34-yard line on a good return to start off here in the second half.
Yeah, and that's kind of the momentum booster that Newport Harbor needs. They need all the momentum that they can get, especially to make it easy on their offense. This is a good start for them. They just got to keep playing their game and make sure that Jake Muir is protected. Got to make sure those boys in front get their way against the Cajon defense.
We haven't really seen a big, massive amount of pass plays from the Newport offense so far. A lot of good running play efficiently. They've gotten some help from their defense. Last year, Jake Muir, 9 for 17, 177 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. But what we've seen throughout this young season, he looks like a different guy than what he did his junior year.
Yeah, and you got to remember that Jake Muir didn't really play most of the game. It was Bodie Stefano playing in that first half against Cajon.
Jake Muir with a little bit of trouble. Almost ran into his own man and hit by contact, but still making the completion. Baldakowski.
That was a big play right there. Almost could have been picked off, but thankfully he placed that ball perfectly, and he is just short of the first down. But you can't complain. 9 yards is 9 yards.
Baldakowski came out limping a little bit after that play. He's being checked out by the trainers on the sidelines right now, so we'll check on him and see if he comes back out onto the field later on. A big piece of this offense that they really need out there. But this wide receiver core is very deep. Second down and short here for the Sailors. It's a handoff. Takamori will circle around and get 2 yards out of it to move the sticks.
Yeah, good little run right there. When in doubt, just play it safe. Do not be flashy and fancy. Got to make the big plays. Got to move the chains. And unlike the first half, Newport Harbor didn't need a full quarter to get its first down in terms of its offense. So.
One of the big things about the team that's being led by Matt Burns and what they've had to go through the last 3 games of this season, obviously a big win here at home against Lancaster, and then 2 tough losses against 2 opponents they surely felt like they could have beat. First down here, it is a take-up by Mir, and he turns upfield for the first carry of the day for him, and he gets a good gain of about 13.
Yeah, first official carry for Jake Muir, minus the fumble. But regardless, it is a first down. Great little fake handoff right there. And that is, as you mentioned, first carry of the day.
Before the first half ended, the Sailors had the ball under 2 minutes before Jake Muir on third down had the ball knocked out of his hands and gave the Cowboys position to get into the red zone in Sailor territory before scoring a touchdown to Lambo White. before the half ended to make it 28-21. Mir now sends it down to Takamori, met by 2 Cowboys, and gets up strong for a gain of about 4 yards.
Yeah, and that was a big hit. Lowering the shoulder right there was Takamori. That was a massive hit right there. Just, I think you could all hear that crunch.
Newport Harbor here on second down now, putting a pretty good drive to start off this second half. And Mir trying to settle in. We talked about his ability to make good runs as a dual threat quarterback. See what he can do here on second down and 6. Takamori gets the handoff, and he's tripped up by the Cowboys defense here for a 0 gain.
Yeah, and Cajon made a great tackle right there. Great read on that one. Got to make sure it's just been a little bit of a chess match, just making sure the other team prevents the run, making sure that your team gets the run game going. So it's just back and forth with this chess match.
Brandon Green on the tackle on that previous play. Third down and 6. Newport Harbor operating from the 38-yard line. Mir takes it. Small blitz. Mir dances around, trying to find a little help. He finds Takamori. That's enough for the first down.
And that is a great play right there. As I've been saying all game, when in doubt, check it down and get the yards, get the first down, keep your drive going. That's what truly matters.
And this is where we've seen Jake Mir really stand out as a quarterback under pressure, not trying to force throws, but really just taking down, looking for the reads. He has Takamori, like you said, the check down, and it works just like it needs to, and they have the first down.
A fresh set of downs for Newport Harbor. Much needed right there.
From the 30-yard line of the Cowboys, Mir steps back, steps up, comes around with pressure, sidearms it, one-handed grab almost by McKibben, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, the pressure was getting to him, and he had to just find it. And it was a miracle he found McKibben, but it was just way too low, and McKibben just could not catch that with one hand.
So it'll be second down now here on this first drive of the second half. The big theme so far today has been big plays. Cruz Marcella had a pick 6 all the way to the house. The interception by McKibben to set up a drive to go into the end zone for the Sailors. And the Cowboys have had their own long and big drives. 28-21. Looks like a line jump here.
Second might be false start on. No, it's a Cajon going offside. So it was 1 second and 10. Now it's going to be second and way manageable.
How about a little help from the Cowboys? Defense giving 5 yards to the Sailors, and now it's a manageable second down and 5.
They jumped the gun at high noon.
Mir now will give it to Takamori. Takamori pulls his way through, and that is enough for a first down, 6-yard gain.
And that was effective running right there. And Newport Harbor is doing a good job in terms of its run game. Running hard, running fast. Gotta make sure they maintain it as they're in the red zone, and we could be seeing Glenn Baranowski.
Takamori last week was averaging 5 yards per carry. He only had 4 carries last week against El Medina. Most of the carry work from Yamakawa, who we haven't seen at all in this game here. So potentially could be dealing with maybe an injury. Mir now on first down, goes for the end zone, a little bit off the mark for McKibben in the end zone.
Yeah, a little bit high right there. And I think for Newport Harbor's run game, I think you just got to go with the hot hand. And yeah, it could be injury. I mean, we can't speculate it too much. But yeah, I think when it comes to Takamori and running the ball, you got to go with the hot hand.
Takamori has been playing smash mouth football so far tonight, putting the pads down, helmet through and through the line, and just imposing his will on the Cowboys' defensive front. But they're playing a little bit conservatively on the line here on second down. It's a design rollout by Mir, avoids 2, finds his man Wilson, right down about the 15-yard line, and they're saying incomplete on the pass.
Wow. Quite fascinating. That would have been Wyatt Wilson's first catch of the day, but now it's Jake Mears' third straight incompletion, so now it brings up 3rd and long, and Newport Harbor is going to have to dig deep in its bag of tricks.
Coach is here for the Sailors, wondering what happened on that drop there. Would have been made it a manageable 3rd down, but it's 3rd down and 10 for the Sailors inside the red zone of the Cowboys, trying to get back the lead. They need to tie it up here on this possession. Down a touchdown. Big crowd of defensive
and it
backs.
looks like a flag comes in, and it's false start on Newport Harbor. So now things get a lot more tougher for them as it goes from 3rd and long to 3rd and longer.
Not exactly the ideal situation here for the Newport Harbor offense here. 3rd down and a little bit longer now this time. The Sailors front guard has number 78 Christopher Valdez at the guard position right now. Meir now on 3rd down, going deep. Oh, just off the mark, out of play. So twice he's had him on this drive in the end zone and just missed the mark by a foot.
Yeah, again, another little bit overthrown. I love the idea from Jake Meir trying to connect with his receiver, but unfortunately just no avail. So now Newport's in a very sticky situation. Do they go for it? Do they try for the field goal to try to bring themselves a little closer? It's a little tricky. It's kind of in that mid-section.
This would be a 42-yard kick if they were to go for a field goal here. But they're leaving the offense out for the Sailors on 4th down and 15. We'll see if they try to make him
go
jump.
For it on this.
Meir takes a snap. Steps up in the pocket. He's got to throw this one in the end zone. He throws to Takamori. He makes the first man miss, but he's met immediately. It'll be a turnover on downs.
And that's a tough one right there for Newport Harbor. Cajon just played that really well. They were just well spread out, and that's just a tough break for Newport Harbor. And now their defense has got to – it was a nice little long drive there, almost chewed up a majority of the quarter.
Took a massive amount, almost about 5 or 6 minutes on that game clock. Here's the first handoff for Newley. Met close to the line for a short gain of about 3 yards for the Cowboys on their first drive of this second half. But here's the thing about the Newport Harbor Sailors defense. When they've been down in points, the defense have given them both chances to get back into the game. And thanks to Cruz Marcella and Shane McKibben, they've given them that shot to stay within this game. They're still in it right now, and we'll see if they try to keep him back in. Marcus Washington, the freshman. 2nd down. Minute in the backfield. Ball's on the ground. It's taken by Newport. Cruz Marcella. Just like from the first half, he makes an impact here.
Another big play from Cruz Marcella. The senior just continues to come up big, and this is so ideal for Newport Harbor. As a former friend of mine and former broadcaster for Tar TV would say, welcome to Tar Ball, the defense that just bends and not breaks.
You see here on the replay, Marcella making that impact on Washington, knocks the ball loose. It gets picked up by the Newport defense. Jakin Meyer falls on top of it, and just like we talked about, the Newport Sailor defense giving themselves a chance on the offensive side.
Yeah, people will probably see the 28 points given up, and they'll probably say, well, Newport has given up 28 points, but they are making the plays. They are trying to get themselves in a position where their offense can really take over.
Takamori runs up the gut for 5 yards. They're operating inside Cowboy territory. And so the 4th down didn't work out for them, but thanks to the defense and Cruz Marcella, who has made an absolute impact here tonight for the Sailors so far, showing out on senior night.
Yeah, again, we both talked about it. Cruz Marcella, on his senior night, he needed to lead this Newport Harbor defense as the Tar Pit is trying to get hyped up. It's a Thursday night, but honestly, you got to commend the students for being here on this Thursday night, cheering for their team.
Especially on a school night where they have classes tomorrow. Here's
Fake handoff.
Mir. Play action. McKibben reaches for the line in the gain. He will get it from the refs. First down.
Oh, yeah. That was a 6-yard gain, and it's actually only the third catch for McKibben, bringing him up to 37 yards on the night receiving.
First down and goal. 9 yards to go to the goal line and tie this game up. Down by a touchdown, the Sailors.
By the way, these stats aren't 100% official. These are stats that I have. Just got to clarify that.
And that's why we love you, Taryn. Thanks for taking track of those. Down on the ground, Takamori goes through the crowd of Cowboys, still on his feet, and now finally taken down, but not after a gain of about 3.
Yeah, he was churning right there like a mustard factory right there, trying to churn mustard, getting those strong 3 yards.
Newport Harbor can relish in this moment if they get into the end zone.
Yeah, they're trying to play catch-up here, and they know that this is a big drive right here. Got to capitalize. Points off turnovers.
Will they cut onions, or will they make this through? And up to Takamori. Up the gut, he's in the end zone. Tie, ball game.
Hot diggity dog, that was a big run right there. Extra point away from tying this. But, yeah, a big run from Takamori. And another points off turnover. That is just big right there. They have 2 points off turnovers as well as the pick 6. Now let's see what Daniel Rico can do.
1 point from tying it away. They're waiting to bring Adam Chani onto the line where PAT goes.
What did they say about us?
And now it's a tie game.
Now it's a tie game.
28 apiece. The Sailors respond thanks to Cruz Marcella's forced fumble to give the Sailors a chance. Meyer falls on top of it, and the Sailors, Takamori into the end zone. 28 apiece here at Davidson Field.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a ball game. This one is going to be a barn burner, a humdinger. The list goes on and on in terms of amazing terminologies.
Sailors will kick off here to the Cowboys as Marcus Washington awaits to get back onto the field. The second QB in Cajon football history to start as a freshman. This was a guy who started with the Inland Empire Ducks in youth football. He's been playing since he was 9 years old. And when you see him on the interviews for much of the media that's out there in San Bernardino, it's a very mature guy, a lot of swagger surrounding him. And he has taken control of this offense and see if he can take the lead back here. Kickoff return. Ball almost taken loose again. Still on his feet, going around. Newly turns around, cuts the corner. Couple of men in front of him, good blocks, and finally taken down by Trevor Glynn. All the way up, but not past until midfield.
You gotta make those tackles if you're Newport Harbor. You could have pinned him deep within the 15-yard line, but instead, Cajon just reverses the field very effectively, and now they have it within Newport Harbor territory, and that's just something you cannot do on special teams. You have to be aware of reversing the field, and you just got to bring him down.
Newport Harbor has been pretty good on special teams so far, ever since that first game where they gave up a return touchdown. Here's our handoff to the running back, gain of about 5 on the first play.
That's just tough running right there for Cajon. Expect them to try to get their run game going again. They know that they can run the ball, and Malley is really having himself a game.
Malik Newley and Jordan White, both of them have been rushing the ball and running it down the Sailors' throats. And it's also been Lambo White, that's been getting it into the end zone as well. Another bunch formation, another handoff to Newley. Slicing and dicing his way through the Sailors, but he's able to get a small gain of about 3 yards on the second down.
Yeah, that again, good little run right there. Looks like he is checking out, so
He's
either
limping
will
off
be
the field right now.
Yeah, so that's something we may want to monitor. As we'll either see Jordan White run it, or we'll see Washington run with it, or we'll see Washington pass this one.
We haven't seen Washington run too much so far in this game. This is a handoff to White, almost tackled in the backfield, breaks a tackle. Now he's met by the Sailors, still on his feet.
Oh, a fumble!
And the ball's on the ground again!
And it's recovered by numero uno, James Callahan, the senior. And Newport Harbor forces their 4th turnover of the game. I don't even recall the last time Newport Harbor forced 4 turnovers, but they now have the ball again. And what a play by Callahan. And this is why you don't give up on the play on offense nor defense. You look on the instant replay right there. Callahan just bear hugs him, and reinforcements come. They jar the ball loose, and Callahan is there to recover it. And just what a play by Callahan. Just keep the runner contained, make sure he does not escape. And Newport Harbor's back in business.
For the 4th time tonight, and picking up just like they did against Lancaster, forcing turnovers. That has been the big thing for the Sailors defense, and they force another one here. Now they have a chance to take the lead. It's a screen pass here on first down. Takamori with some good moves. Dead leg and up to about the 39-yard line.
Yep, and Newport Harbor has got to keep its offense hot and fresh just because they now have the momentum. They are putting pressure on this Cajon defense. They know that this is a massive drive, and they got to keep swing while the iron is hot.
28 apiece in the third quarter, 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Newport now with a chance to take back the lead. They had in lead since that second quarter. They have a chance to do that here. Yamakawa will check into the game for the first time tonight.
It'll be interesting. Maybe Jake Muir throws it, though.
And
it's a timeout called by false start Newport Harbor.
Yeah, on the left tackle side there, Jagger Danoon took a small jump at the line, and coach is not exactly happy with that.
Now comes a little bit more tougher for Newport Harbor to manage as it's 1st and 15 with about 2 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Oh, no!
High snap!
Oh, my
in the
goodness.
backfield!
Uh-oh. It's a race.
Jake Muir trying to get to it! The Cowboys look like they fell on top of it!
Oh, my goodness.
Indeed, they have the ball! And a miscue from the Newport Harbor Sailors gives the Cowboys the ball right back!
You just cannot have that. First, a penalty, and then just a over-snapped ball. You just can't do that if you're Newport Harbor. You just cannot gift the opposing team the ball. So, and the worst part is that Cajon has it in their red zone.
We saw this before the end of the first half as well. Handoff immediately up the way. White on the carry there, met by the Sailors defense.
And that was Cameron Hatfield who had that tackle, as it looks like that was a gain of 4.
Not ideal situation here. 2 turnovers within a minute. Second down. Washington takes it himself.
Keeper.
Makes a man miss. Flips around. And he is short of the goal line.
But it'll be enough for a first down. And I imagine that Cajon's going to go jumbo, and it's like a Newport Harbor Sailors down.
No, 4 is in the end zone. Let's see who this is.
And that's Ethan Ambass. That's a tough one right there. Made a massive play, but he had to take the price by taking the brunt of it.
And that who is also a senior for the Newport Harbor Sailors.
Okay, looks like he just got the wind knocked out of him. Jogging off a little bit. Jogging off a little bit on his own power. So I think it might have been just him getting the wind knocked out of his sails.
Regardless, though, it'll be first down and goal from the half-yard line, it seems like.
Probably either Jumbo or Wildcat we'll be seeing here. Jumbo is one of the best formations in football.
It will be White and Jordan. It will be White there. Steps around on first and goal, and he's backed up for a loss.
Yeah, that was White on that carry, and that was just a great read by Newport Harbor, forcing the loss of one on the play.
The Sailor defense trying to play from the line. They back up the Cowboys on first and goal. Second and about 2 yards now after the tackle for loss.
See what Cajon draws up.
Washington gets a snap.
Oh,
Jump
what
balled
a
it like a
play.
Tebow into the end zone. Touchdown, Cowboys.
And that right there was number 88, Jackson Murray, on that play. And that's the tight end right there. His first catch of the night, and that goes for 6.
The 6'3" senior, also a member of the Cajon men's basketball team, gets the touchdown, and Cajon gets the lead right back.
And for the first time since week 0, Newport Harbor has an opponent put 30-plus on them. But depending on what Newport Harbor does is going to depend on the outcome of this game.
35-28. Newport Harbor now back behind by a touchdown with 41 seconds left in the third quarter. Still plenty of ball to go here, but Newport Harbor, they have the fumble, but then the high snap gave it right back to the Cowboys, and they turned it into 7 points.
Yeah, that was the first time that a defensive play did not go 4 points off turnovers. And again, you just can't have mistakes like that. Those are just mistakes that you'll see in film that you're going to want back. And Newport Harbor, they got a lot of work to do. But again, there's plenty of game left. They'll have another quarter. They have this kickoff and what little time left they have in this third quarter.
Kickoff here, Stremick and Trevor Glynn awaiting the return. Stremick will field it in the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, in high school, if you field the ball in the end zone for a touch in the end zone, it'll be a touchback regardless of what happens. There's no such thing as fielding the ball and then just taking off from your end zone. No Minnesota Vikings action like they had on Monday Night Football.
And it seems like the big thing here, especially for the Newport Harbor Sailors, from the 2 games that we've seen where they've lost on one-possession games, especially even that last game against El Medina, you know, we talked about the touchdown pass that Jake Muir threw would have pretty much given them the lead to win the game, but because he was over the line. So it's just been a few little miscues here and there for the Newport Harbor Sailors in one-possession games so far.
Yeah, and in Jake's defense, you have to be mobile and have that recognition. You can't just be stiff and like a statue in the pocket.
Takamori takes it up for about 5 yards for the start of this drive after the touchdown by the Cowboys. And Sailors looking to at least not only tie the game, but get that lead back and then leave it up to the defense to pretty much close out this game and try to make it different than the outcome from a week ago against the Vanguards. And it looks like the clock will tick down.
Yeah, looks like that'll be it for the quarter.
Looks like it'll tick down to the end of the third quarter. 35-28. The Sailors down by a touchdown. Still plenty of ball game. But now we're into crunch time in the fourth quarter at Davidson Field. You listen to Justin Lee and Taryn Rodriguez. We'll be back for the fourth quarter on TAR TV Sports.
Here we go, fourth quarter action.
Second down and 4, Mir. McKibben nearly making a one-handed grab. Welcome back here on TAR TV Sports. Justin Lee alongside Taryn Rodriguez. Back for the fourth quarter. Sailors looking to try to tie this game up, down by a touchdown, 35-28.
Such a great situation.
Took out a second ago.
Third down and 4 for the Sailors coming into this fourth quarter.
This is a big play right here. Newport Harbor needs to get this first down.
Trying to snap count. It's a handoff to Takamori as he tries around the corner. And all the Cowboys are there to meet him at near the line of scrimmage. There's a flag.
That might have been a teachable moment right there. I think that might be unnecessary, unsportsmanlike conduct. That is a backbreaker. If that's on Cajon, that's a backbreaker because that'll give Newport Harbor a fresh set of downs.
The way that Newport Harbor is still on the field seems like it would be so right now. It's on Cajon.
Oh my goodness. Cajon is going to want that play back right there because they had gotten the stop right there. But now it's a fresh set of downs for Newport Harbor, and you just can't make silly penalties like that. I talked about limiting the penalties for Newport Harbor. That can go for either team. And Newport Harbor had some of those penalties in the Lancaster game that they definitely need to clean up.
So 15 yards on what would have been a stop from the Cajon Cowboys, and a very important stop. Gives the ball back as the Sailors catch a break on this drive.
Let's see what they can do. Can they make the most of this?
Jake Mir now, team captain, trying to lead his offense to a victory. Flag on the play. Little run. Takamori up to about the 48-yard line near midfield.
Let's check the flag. It'll either be illegal shift or illegal procedure. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it was like illegal motion.
So this will back up the Sailors 5 yards, minus the 15 that they got on the penalty previous to this play on the unsportsmanlike conduct call against the Cowboys. So it'll set them up first down and 15. We'll repeat the down. They'll be operating from the 37-yard line.
This is very manageable for Newport Harbor. The clock did stop on that play, so Newport Harbor will have the benefit of still having quite a bit of time left. They just cannot allow Cajon to chew up a majority of the clock. And the clock will actually start again.
Big lineman at the front for Newport, all headed by Emiliano Biggie Torres, 350 pounds. On the other side, Jagger Danoon, 280 pounds, both seniors. Here's a handoff to Takamori, chugging the legs. Out of bounds, brings it back to a manageable second down now. It'll be about second down and 6.
Yeah, very good run by Takamori, getting 9 yards on that play. And I think he's definitely been a spotlight for this team, and I think Newport Harbor is reaping the benefits from him.
Line helping him out there as well. Jagger Danoon hoping to play Cal Poly Slow in the years to come. Christopher Foster, the center, one of the big guys that can squat more than 525 pounds. And then Emiliano Biggie Torres wanting to be an x-ray technician once he graduates from Newport High. Second down and 6. It's another handoff to Takamori. Gets tripped up close to the line, but he's able to push it forward for about a yard.
Yeah, that was another high snap, and Newport Harbor's got to be a little careful with this. This is a very, very precious drive right here. This could make or break Newport Harbor. This is where Newport Harbor legends are made when it comes to plays like this. It's the money down. Third down
and 5 for the Sailors. Need a conversion here. Handoff and immediately met at the line. Uzziah Todd for the tackle for loss, and it'll bring up 4th down. So an interesting play call there by head coach Matt Burns.
Yeah, that was 3 straight runs right there. That's a little fascinating if you ask me. But now it looks like Newport Harbor's going to have to punt, and that is not ideal for the Sailors.
Cajon will have to be careful on this drive. Obviously, you have the chance to increase the lead, but what we've seen so far from Newport, a lot of turnovers on the offensive side of things. Punt away. It dropped on the ground! It's picked up by Newport and gifted to them! You've got to be kidding me!
You called it. They said Cajon has got to be careful, and the ball slipped through the fingers. This has just been a game. That is turnover number 5 for Cajon. And just like that, Newport Harbor is back in business.
Landon White right there to get the ball, and all fumbled up for number 2 of the Cowboys.
Callahan with the recovery.
Cole Imbriani, the senior on their team. A knuckleball handed by Daniel Rico ends up touching the returner in Imbriani and gives it right back to the Sailors, are now they're inside red zone territory.
Newport Harbor's got to capitalize on this. Got to have some smart plays here.
Jake Muir with the screen set up to McKibben. Immediately met close to the line, but that reception gives him about 3 to 4 yards.
Probably 4 yards as McKibben surpasses 40 yards, currently at 41 by my count. Only his 4th catch of the night, so he's been a little quiet ever since that big 21-yard catch, but plenty of game left for him to have a turnaround.
He's had some opportunities too in the end zone, but Muir missed him a couple times on a drive earlier in the game where they were trying to get into the end zone. Muir now on 2nd down. Chased out of the pocket. Flag on the field as they fly, as he throws it away and out of play.
Let's see. It looks like it's going to be a holding penalty, and it's on Newport Harbor.
Looks like holding on the line as Muir evacuated the pocket, went to the outside on the far end, and just threw it away. So this will back him up about 10 yards.
Yeah, that's tough for Newport Harbor. You just can't have penalties just plaguing you and pushing you back. You just cannot allow the turnover that was caused on that special teams play to go in vain, because every possession is now precious for Newport Harbor, especially when they're trying to tie this game. Time starts to become a factor too. Sorry about that.
7 turnovers in total in this game. That has been the theme of the night, but the majority of those turnovers from the Cajon Cowboys and gifted right to the Sailors. Glenn Baranowski in at running back for the Sailors. 2nd down and 17. High snap. Muir will take the Wildcat. Tries to run outside, still evading tacklers, and now taken down close to the line of scrimmage on the Wildcat run.
Yeah, that was an interesting play. It looked like it was going to be good, but unfortunately, it just kind of backfired.
There's a man down on the ground for the Cowboys.
That is 11 on their team.
Good. So we'll take an injury timeout here up in the booth.
That is D'Angelo DeJounte?
I think it's Dejournay, if I'm not wrong.
Dejournay, yeah.
Here's the big thing tonight. Thursday night football here for Newport Harbor. Tomorrow will be a lot of interesting matchups. Like you said, the CDM versus Charter Oak. You'll be there, right, Taryn?
Oh, yeah.
Yorba Linda will take on Esperanza tomorrow. Villa Park against Ayala, Tesoro against Laguna Beach. And then San Juan Hills against Rockwall Heath at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night. All teams have more wins than Newport Harbor right now, and this, like you talked about, is basically a must-win for Newport.
Yeah, it looks like D'Angelo isn't putting any weight on one of his feet, so it looked like it was cramps at first, but now it's looked like it might be a little bit more serious. So 8 minutes and change.
So it gives Newport Harbor a little bit of time to rest on the offensive side of things, but they have 17 yards to go to try to get a first down. Either that or take a shot into the end zone. So here we go. 3rd down and long. Mir. Good pocket and all. Little bit of pressure and juggled around and caught.
Oh my goodness. That was Jackson Stremick. Only his 2nd catch of the night. Wasn't enough for the first down. That's still a massive catch because it looked like that ball was about to get juggled out, but he held on. That is just great precision there.
And it certainly changes the decision-making here for Coach Matt Burns. If he had dropped that ball, it would have been 4th down and 17, and likely they would either have to punt, kick, or try to go for it from longer. But now it's a little bit more manageable from 7 yards out.
Way more manageable.
4th down. It's like rushers from the sides will come after Mir. Mir now avoids one tackle, takes it himself, going up trying to reach for the first down.
And that is massive right there. That is great recognition by Mir, seeing the open terrain, not trying to
Oh,
go
they
for
called
a
him
shot.
short.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Even when he expanded.
Oh, my goodness. Mir looked like he had the first down reaching to the line to gain. The entire Sailors sideline is in disbelief.
Oh, my goodness.
And it'll be a turnover on downs.
That's just a bad break for Newport Harbor right there.
Goodness. Not the way the Sailors wanted it, and now the Cajon Cowboys have the ball. Still plenty of game, though, left. Washington will take it himself. Baranowski will take him down.
Yeah, because of that, Newport Harbor is going to have to really dial in defensively. And it looks like, if I had to guess, Cajon's going to probably run the heck out of this ball and try to drain the clock, make sure they leave Newport Harbor with not a lot of time.
They have capable rushers to get the job done. We did see Malik Newley, who has been the leading rusher for them, exit the game limping. Not sure if he came back or not. Right now, it would be Jordan White at the running back position or Marcus Washington as the quarterback. He's by himself on his side, throws down, finds Lambo, makes 2 defenders miss, but then tripped up from behind by Trevor Glynn, short of the line to gain 3rd down. So another massive 3rd down here for the Sailors defense, needing to get another crucial stop. 3rd down.
Big.
3rd down and 2. Newley's back into the game. He will get the handoff outside and tripped up in the backside. Ethan Ambat.
And that is the Newport Harbor bend, don't break defense that we all come to know. This is tar ball defense. And now it looks like Cajon's going to have to punt. I would not go for it on 4th down if I were Cajon.
A crucial takedown for the Sailors. They have a little bit of confusion on the field right now, trying to get their substitutions off the field as he slides out of play.
And Newport Harbor's going to get this ball back with great field position. They just got to keep track of the ball. Don't do anything silly.
Palmer's back there, signals fair catch. Newport will get the ball inside Cowboy territory at the 48-yard line. 5 minutes and 32 seconds on the clock. Enough time to try to get down the field and tie this game up.
Yeah, this is just big right here for Newport Harbor. They have to cash in terms of getting a touchdown here. And then also maybe try to use up a good chunk of the clock just in case they score, but they don't want to give Cajon enough time to make a comeback in terms of like their foul drive. In case Newport Harbor gets the touchdown. And another thing to factor in is that if Newport Harbor gets the touchdown, do they go for 2 to try to pull ahead 36-35? But we won't know until Newport Harbor gets the touchdown.
First down from the 48 of Cajon. Jake Mir with Takamori at his right side. He will get the snap. Settles in the pocket. Checks down to Takamori. Takamori spins around and met by 3 different Cowboys hard to the ground.
Yeah, that is just a booming hit right there. But this is football that we're talking about here, and both of these teams are just working hard for their respective teams.
Takamori, after that play, came out, switched with Matthew Yamakawa, who's checked into the game. It's second down and 4. Right now, Takamori's on the sideline in a squat position, so it looks like he's a little bit gassed or got the wind knocked out of him. So Yamakawa will see if he gets it. He does indeed here. Runs up the gut. And looks like the refs will give him enough for a first.
And he does.
So Newport Harbor electing to just run the ball right now. The pass offense, we haven't seen too much so far, but Newport Harbor efficiently being able to run the ball so far in the second half. 4 minutes and 30 seconds as it's decision making for the Sailors coaches right now. Chani checks in.
Looks like, see at the bottom of your screen, you'll see Shane McKibben. He's going to be going one-on-one with his defender, Cole Imbriani.
Pistol formation. Handoff to Yamakawa as he turns up for a minimal gain of about 4 yards on that play, actually.
Yeah, this is where time starts to become precious, and this is where every possession just is so valuable. You cannot mess anything up here. You got to be as steady as a surgeon when trying to bring back a patient from the dead.
So it'll be second downs and 7 from the 34-yard line of Cajon. Cajon driving out here about an hour and 10 minutes on a Thursday night. Mir, a lot of time in the pocket. Finally driven out. Now he throws out of bounds. Nothing downfield for the Sailors offense on second down and 7. Turns into third down and 7.
Yep, all you got to do is just throw that ball away, live to fight another day. Don't get intentional grounding. Don't take a sack.
Credit to Mir for not forcing the ball into awkward positions as well. He really has shown his discipline as a senior quarterback and his ability to operate the offense. We've seen some really good throws from him in this game. Takamori is also back into the game now after being shaken up earlier in this drive. Third down and 7. Needing a first down. Mir takes it, flip side, goes out of bounds, and he's got the first down.
And that right there is a Newport Harbor first down, no doubt about it. And that was just a great fake right there. Jake Mir knew that handing the ball off would have been a little too obvious, so he took it himself, and he gets the first down.
Needing everything in all phases for Jake Mir. Now he's starting to show off the legs a little bit. Passing game not exactly there with Cajon's pass defense. Basically their strength with Cole Imbriani back there.
Here's the timeout called by, looks like it's going to be timeout by the officials.
I believe it's a clock reset.
All right, so it looks like the clock will be reset to 3:18. So
because Jake Mir went out of bounds, the clock was running, so they reset it to 3:18 here. First down. They're operating from the 23-yard line of Cajon. And that secondary for the Cowboys, headed by Imbriani, Uzziah Todd, and Jordan Young, they've all been locking down these receivers so far. So Mir and the running backs have taken it into their own hands, Mir now looking to pass, steps up, down the field, touchdown! Shane McKibben is in the end zone. 1 point away from tying it.
Actually, I think that was Palmer, but still. Yeah, that was Palmer's second touchdown of the night.
Excuse me, Ryan Palmer into the end zone. Sometimes hard to see up here. 1 point away for the Sailors to tie it up here.
Now, interesting, they're going for the extra point. 3:13 remaining. Cajon has all 3 timeouts.
Rico splits the uprights to make it 35 apiece. 3 minutes and 13 seconds left in the game.
Oh man, this is where games. This is where legends are made. This is where games are played. Once again, just amazing recognition as Palmer was just wide open there and Jake just found him, escaping everything. And man, imagine if that was the game-winning touchdown pass from last week. As the Tar Pit is starting to like it, do-si-doing. But now it's time for Newport Harbor's defense to really shine.
Mir on the run with that touchdown pass. A very good pass indeed, and I don't think he was in front of the line of scrimmage at that time. 35 apiece at Davidson Field. If you're just joining us, man, you have missed a heck of a game so far.
Yeah, you've missed quite a bit right there. Quite a bit, we can't recap it.
Fielded by the returner. Newley finds a hole.
Oh my goodness.
And taken down from behind, somehow sticks with the ball in his hand, and he'll be brought down about the 32-33.
All right, let's see what Newport Harbor's defense can do.
Newport Harbor's defense, they have forced 5 turnovers against the Cajon Cowboys. 7 turnovers in this game in total. It has been a flip switch game all throughout this Thursday evening. Here comes Marcus Washington Jr. He will take it himself up the middle and taken down by the Sailors for a minimal gain of about 4 yards.
And it looks,
There's a timeout for an injured player on the field.
might be Patrick Sweeney? No, it is
Sebastian Perez.
Yeah, that is Perez.
Perez on the ground right now, a little bit shaken up. So both teams will get a little bit of some rest times. Let's set it up though. 2 minutes, 55 seconds, 35 apiece for both teams. Much closer than what we saw last year, 41-21 the final score between these two squads. We have a new look offense in the Cajon Cowboys. They've shown their youth on the field so far. The Sailors on senior night showing out, wanting a big win on their big night for all of the seniors here in the building.
This has just been an instant classic. Both these teams know how big of a win this would be. Cajon winning on the road would be massive. Newport Harbor getting a win to bring themselves back to 500 would also be big, because they've got a road trip next week against Colony, and then they've got the bye, and then they've got a road trip against a road game against Tesoro. And something to note for Newport Harbor, they have not won a road game since 2023 when they beat Fountain Valley back in the former Sunset League. So Newport Harbor winning here at home would be massive.
Like you said, a must-win game here tonight to stay on pace with all of the other Bravo League teams. We've got number 10, San Juan Hills in the southern section. Here's Marcus Washington on second down. Good pocket, take it down from behind, sacked in the backfield.
Oh my goodness, that was a huge play from Ryder Godbold, riding on in and just bringing down Washington.
A big sack here on second down makes it third down and long. 12 yards to go for the Cowboys, and now Newport has a chance to try to get the ball back and potentially get the game-winning points up on the board.
Well, this is a big third down here. Newport Harbor can get the stop, they could force Cajon to punt, but who's calling timeout? Is it Newport or? Oh, Cajon's calling timeout, so Cajon using one of its 3 timeouts. That's big right there because they stopped the clock at 2:14. Gonna try to draw something up. If you're Cajon, what do? Do you try to throw it again? Do you try to go back to the hot hand being Landon White? Do you try to run with it, keep it with Washington? You have so many options for this Cajon team, but this must be truly, it must have all Newport Harbor and Cajon fans, players, coaches on pins and needles.
Newport Harbor Sailors players going to their fans here at Davidson Field, asking for their help.
Yeah, if there's ever a time for either side to get loud for their team, it's now.
3rd down and 12. Probably the biggest play of the game here.
Bottom of your screen. Got Glenn. Now it looks like it's a timeout for Newport Harbor. Now they're going to be left with 2.
Both teams electing to really think this through right now. This is a crucial play. We just saw the timeout from the Cajon Cowboys. Now the timeout from the Sailors. Matt Burns electing to give themselves a little bit of a rest to think this through and see what the Cajon Cowboys offense is going to try to do here on 3rd down and 12.
Yeah, and this is a massive play for Cajon. Newport Harbor knows that if they get the stop, then they can take over with its offense. But they have to anticipate anything and everything possible that this Cajon team will bring. They're just unpredictable. Like, they're a joker in the card deck. You never know what they're going to get. But in this second half, Cajon has pretty much been the ace card. They're either 1 or 11, and looks like Cajon's going to need to get the 11 to get the blackjack.
It's the Sailors from the West Coast against the Wild West Wranglers of San Bernardino. 3rd down and 12. Washington gets the snap. Looking to throw. He's got Lambo.
No.
Cuts up the middle. Finally taken down by Glenn. That ball was on the ground. They're saying he was down when the ball was jarred loose. And the Cowboys on 3rd down and 12 make a massive play to get into Newport territory. 1st down.
Oh my goodness, and that is just such a back-breaking play right there. Left him all alone. Defender was just a couple steps away from possibly getting to him. Just a little bit closer to him, then maybe that's a tackle. It's an incomplete pass or possible interception, but that tackle was possibly a game-saving touchdown tackle.
So 1st down run from Jordan White. They have about 4, 2nd down and 6. Clock will run. 1 minute and 30 seconds. We'll probably run it here to kill the clock and potentially put up the game-winning field goal. Another handoff to Jordan White. He's met immediately by the Sailors. Brought down for a gain of about 3 yards. Sailors will get will call for a timeout. 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock. So potentially another decision here. Yes, Newport has 2 timeouts left. But they're gonna need to essentially limit this thing to a field goal and give themselves enough time on that clock to keep this within reach, Darren.
Yeah, absolutely. Newport Harbor has to be smart with this, and don't be surprised if Cajon wants to pass, because even if Cajon gets a incompletion, they could go for it on 4th down. I mean, the ideal thing would be to kick the field goal, take the points, and not be cute with it. It actually looks like Cajon took their 2nd timeout.
Home streak on the line for the Newport Tars. 3rd down and 3.
Look on the bottom of your screen. You got 2 receivers.
Need to get to the 13 of Newport to get a 1st down. Washington takes it himself. Tries to reach for the 1st down yardage. And it looks like he got the 1st down.
Oh, no. Looks like he barely, or, yep.
So they can essentially just run the clock down here to give a shot for Owen Morris to kick the game-winning field goal. Now we're down to a minute left in the game. Washington hands it off. Net close to the line by the Sailors. It's Glynn. A little bit of a hobble after the tackle, though. That's not a good sign for the senior.
Yeah, that's tough right there. And Newport Harbor does call a timeout, and basically going to be on the foot of Cajon's kicker.
48 seconds on the clock. Another timeout called by Newport Harbor. After that run by Jordan White, it was a gain of about 2. It's 2nd down and 8.
Looks like one of Newport's players Trevor Glenn kind of got the wind knocked out of him.
So 48 seconds left on the clock. One more timeout for Newport to stop the clock, at least. Doesn't seem like they'll have a chance to get the ball back unless they can force something here. They've forced 5 turnovers already, and it wouldn't be a surprise if something happens here again.
Yeah, let's see if Cajon will try to run the ball to try to get it closer.
Washington by himself with 4 receivers to the left side, bottom of your screen. 2nd down. Washington will take it himself. Run outside, legs, speed ahead, and taken down just before it could get to the end zone. It will be a 1st down at about the 3-4 yard line of Newport, and they can run this thing down to the final seconds. They have a timeout to stop that clock.
Yeah.
Washington sets up, clock still running. Flag on the play.
Could be too many men for Newport Harbor. Yeah, it looks like that's might be too many men on the field because number 1 James Callahan was checking out, so now it'll be half the distance. This is pretty much a chip shot for Cajon.
Well, we've seen crazier things in high school football.
We've seen a lot of crazy things tonight.
Owen Morris is senior on the team. He would be the one to try to split the uprights. But this would basically be a killer here if they put this in the end zone, and it looks like they're going to try to do that here. They've been placed at the 1 yard line.
Cajon could even score and put pressure on Newport Harbor to try to go down the field.
Washington hands off, met at the line, and Newport trying to keep him out of the end zone. He will be short. Timeout Cajon.
So yeah, they're gonna. It's interesting. They didn't try to like drain the clock down all the way to like 4 seconds and then boot the field goal in. I don't know about that one.
Very interesting decision here by Nick Rogers. Yeah, you're right. They could have run the clock down to basically a second and literally said, let's kick the field goal. But maybe they don't exactly trust their kicker to knock that thing in. We did see a couple of 2-point conversions every time they scored on the board.
That was early in the first half or first quarter.
But this would basically be a chip shot, like you said. They're at the 1 yard line. 17 seconds. Looks like they're trying to put the dagger into the Sailors here.
But here's the thing: if Cajon goes for it and they don't get it, then we go into overtime.
Big play here for the Sailors. 17 seconds, fourth quarter.
This looks like jumbo formation.
Washington rolls out to his right, flipped it up in the air. It's caught, but out of bounds.
Yeah, it is incomplete. So
they are trying to get the dagger in this game, but it's now 3rd down and 1 for the Cajon Cowboys. 12 seconds on the clock. What do they do here?
That stops the clock and gives Cajon a little bit more time to breathe.
So this will be basically a last-ditch effort to try to put this one in the end zone and secure a victory, essentially. They're readjusting the placement of the ball right now. Washington at the quarterback spot, Jordan White at the running back. Another jumbo formation.
They'll probably throw it again.
Washington looking to throw, throws to his right, and it's incomplete.
And that's actually a good thing that it was incomplete, because had he caught that, the clock would have wound down. Cajon couldn't stop it, and then it would have gone, and that would have been overtime. But thankfully for Cajon, that's another moment where you're happy to see an incomplete pass.
4th down now from the 1 yard line. This will be a 20, no, excuse me.
Everyone is getting loud when it comes to this, but it looks like Matt Burns is going to ice the kicker.
Yep, using that last timeout, 5 seconds on that clock. This will be a kick from Owen Morris to try to win the game. They'll be at the 1 yard line, so the kick will be about 17 yards. Basically a chip shot field goal. But if you've watched high school football, you know that anything is possible.
Especially with this game.
Absolutely. 7 turnovers, 5 from the Cowboys, 2 from Newport, 35 apiece. 5 seconds on the clock. They're set up between the 17 and 18. 18-yard field goal. 5 seconds. Morris to try to win it. Snap down. Kick is up. And it's good.
But should there be a 1 second left?
It will be determined by the refs to see what time is on the clock. Right now, Cowboys celebrating what looks like a win right now as they turn down the field. We'll see if the refs put a second on the clock. Coach
Matt Burns is mad. He thinks that there should be 1 second on the clock.
He's livid. The refs are exiting the field as the game is being called over, it seems like. And now they're meeting at the goal line. Cajon is lining up at the 50-yard line to get the final high fives. Matt Burns electing, and looks like that is it.
And that's pretty much it. But realistically, Newport Harbor, Cajon would have probably short-kicked it, and even if Newport Harbor had recovered, they would have had to play pitchy woo-woo. But another tough loss for Newport Harbor.
A tough one indeed. They had all the right ways going for them, turnovers and all, and a field goal from 18 yards out secures Cajon's victory here in Newport Harbor as they get 2 wins in a row against the Sailors once again.
Yep, and yeah, you look at the instant replay, it was right down Broadway, and you feel for this Newport Harbor team, but they're going to be going into that locker room saying, we are going to do what we can to try to make sure we don't have a 3-point loss. We're going to do what we can to turn the ship around and get points when we can, to get wins when we can, no matter who and what we're playing against.
So Cajon will advance to 2-1. They'll set up for a trip next week. The Sailors prepare for a trip to Colony High School against the Titans next week. Final score 38-35. Another tough way to go down for the Sailors, but credit them for not leaving this game. They put it all out on the field, and they fought all the way to the very end.
Absolutely, and that's all this Newport Harbor team can do. All that they can do is just play as hard as they can, and Cajon just made the plays that they could to try to win the game. And unfortunately for Newport Harbor, they just fell a few plays short. They gave up that big first down. They gave up some other first downs in terms of the red zone on the final drive. So for Newport Harbor, just another live and learn moment, and we'll see what they could do against Colony. But now the wins are starting to become a little more scarce just because you've got Colony next week, and then that's also going to try to imply that Newport will have to try to beat the likes of San Juan, Yorba Linda, or Villa Park, as well as try to beat Tesoro or Corona del Mar as well, and Corona del Mar as well.
And obviously that big game coming up in about a month or so as the Sailors continue to try to see if they can bounce back on the win column. But there was a lot of really good bright spots here tonight for the Newport Harbor team. Defensively, goodness, Cruz Marcella was all over the place tonight. We talked about the pick six. We talked about the sack. We talked about being able to play in situations where they needed the defense to get the job done. 5 turnovers for the defense. That must be a bright spot for this team for the amount of rush yards that they've given up within 4 games.
Absolutely, and this Newport Harbor defense shined. It didn't show on the scoreboard, but forcing 5 turnovers, 1 on special teams, 1 with the pick six, and getting 2 points off turnovers is big, for a big step in the right direction for this Newport Harbor team. They just have to learn to close out, and that is big right there. So let's see what Newport Harbor can do on the road the next week, and then 3 weeks from tomorrow, 22 more days, they pretty much start league against Tesoro, and Tesoro might not be a layup because they've improved. It's just all a matter of getting everything done, cleaning up what needs to be cleaned up, and if they could do that, Newport Harbor can definitely be a team to watch for in Bravo League play. Yeah.
Well, Zoe DeMichaels will be down on the sidelines to give us a few thoughts here on this game. Zoe, what's up?
This game was obviously a huge nail-biter. The Cowboys had an amazing quarterback throwing absolute dimes, and unfortunately we couldn't pull it through, although it stayed safe the whole time. We hope they stay confident through their long stretch of away games that are coming up, and thanks for watching tonight.
Thanks, Zoe. And obviously the way that this game turned out here tonight, still a lot of bright spots, still a lot of things to work out for and for Coach Matt Burns. Certainly will be a discussion topic throughout the week. And they get an extra day's rest before they come back on a Friday next week against Colony Titans here on a Thursday evening. And what a game it was. I mean, either way, when you look at this thing on the box score, this was a close game all the way through.
Absolutely, and there was just a lot of bright spots for Newport Harbor. I know, again, doesn't show on the scoreboard, but they are just finding their way to move in the right direction. I think that they definitely have so many bright spots. And again, this is another 1-score loss, and it seems like every 1-score loss just seems to be on the final drive of the opponent. And it's tough for Newport Harbor, but tough times are temporary. Tough teams last forever, and Newport Harbor knows that they are a tough team. They're a good team. It's just all a matter of playing all 4 quarters, just making 0 mistakes, and just making sure that you make the plays that are supposed to be made in order to get the win.
It's still a young season, and it's still a lot more games to come. And obviously on here at TAR TV Sports, we got it all for you folks at home. Thanks for joining us here on Thursday night. Justin Lee alongside Taryn Rodriguez with Zoe DeMichaels down on the sideline. Be sure to check out our broadcast schedule by following at TAR TV Sports on Instagram for updates. Well, for all of us here at TAR TV Sports, appreciate you being here on this Thursday night. And for all those folks who were here on the school night, thank you for being with us again for this presentation of Newport Harbor Sailors versus the Cajon Cowboys. We will see you for the next game, and as we say to our friends and family at home, good night from Newport Beach.
See you at Battle of the Bay.